This is 1 year of building my log home. I built the log home right on the same property as the logs were, and I was so glad I did that. Instead of having to haul these logs, I just drug them all the way into the building site. First log, boys, let's get her done. These wood stumps I'm setting the logs on are only a temporary foundation. I'm going to take the logs apart and set them up again on a full concrete basement foundation. So here's a look at the plans to see and show how it will look when it's done. I learned to log build from reading books, and then I built a very small little structure just for practice, but it sure didn't prepare me for everything that was coming with a project like this. You know, it was my first build ever, and I had a lot to learn. I was very inexperienced, of course, and, you know, there was a lot you just got to figure out the hard way and keep pushing forward and learn as you go to get her done, but worked out. When it came to this bottom round, it was just like every other thing a guy does for the first time. He would sure do a lot differently the second time. These are called scribers, and what scribers do is trace the exact shape of the bottom log onto the top log. The line we draw on the top log serves as the cut line that we follow to cut this log so it'll sit perfectly against the log below. Every inch of this log will touch perfectly around the knots and the bumps and everything. Here's the later achieved finished result.
I gotta build a ledge here for my gasket.
Even after these logs are perfectly fitted together, I still want a compressible gasket in between them and around the notch. Here I'm just testing that ledge we built and make sure that the gasket is going to work with how we're building before I build the whole damn house wrong.
You know, look at this finish. She looks pretty good. Beauty. Well, you can see now that it's spring, they sure peel a lot nicer, eh?
I quit building once the weather warmed up to get all the logs peeled all at once and treated as soon as possible.
It really looks like I'm in for it here, eh? This place, there's just logs everywhere. I'm not panicked. There is a sense of urgency here. You know, consider it done, friends. Like, it ain't no worries. I don't mind it at all. Like, there's times where you just gotta sit down and get it done and not focus on anything else, you know? Like, we gotta get all these logs done. We just gotta sit down and peel for days here on end. No quitting until it's done. It's kind of one of those defining moments. I kind of believe, you know, like, you either gotta get it done or you never will kind of deal. So I had a full-on suntan here before the snow went this year, out here peeling logs in the sun. Man, this place is literally just crawling with logs. Like, they're everywhere. I've been excited about this tree ever since I seen it up there standing before I cut it down.
Log building really gets exciting when you're out there in the forest and you find pieces of real natural beauty like these ones. This is where building meets art, you know, when you got to figure out, am I going to put this in the wall, or where is this going to end up where everyone can see it? Is it going to be a post that everyone sees? How do I take pieces like this and incorporate them into the beauty of this home?
Friends, this is my favorite log to peel because it is the last log. Here she be, boys. Well, that feels good, man. You know, like, holy. You know, I'm tired, pretty tired. Heat's been killing me, I'm sore. None of that fucking matters, you know, like, that'll all go away in a day or two, but the feeling of getting this all done, man, is pretty damn good. You know, man, you just gotta love it. You just gotta come out here and love being with the timber and working on it, because it's gonna take a whole lot of that if this thing's gonna take shape, man. Like, it's a lot of work. Three rounds high though. This thing's starting to look pretty damn serious. When you're gaining as much as we are, they're going up pretty quick. Like, I'm all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna be on a ladder on the 5th round, no doubt. This is the 3rd. So I'm trying to drop this beauty down. It sure looks straight on the top, eh? But it'll fool you a bit. She really flares out at the butt. We're just making her work with the trees we got, friends. Let's get her down. Well, sometimes you just gotta sit and stare at the beauty, friends. You know, she's coming good. I got one straight log, two crooked ones. They go different ways. Got her done, feeling good about it. Starting to feel the groove every day a little better. Starting to feel like the decisions we make are a little bit smarter. A beauty. Making beautiful walls out of ugly trees. It's crooked. Even in small sections, this log is crooked. I sure don't mind scribing, you know, it's quite peaceful work. It's very quiet, you're very focused. I don't actually much care for lining them up. It can kind of be a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm usually pretty glad when that part's over. And then when it's time to break out the chainsaws, I'm a happy guy. There's a tab on this log that's holding this scribe line from coming exactly down. So that's when the corner notches, all the weight is on the corner notches right now. When the corner notches shrink, as these green logs shrink, they'll become smaller, the notches will slide down, and this will compress to perfect. If we start with this fitting perfectly, it will always fit perfect, but then the notches will loosen up, and we want to keep the notches tight. So that's why that looks like that. And for a while here, since I've moved out of the bush a couple months ago, I have been driving back and forth to site. I don't know how to run these blinds, man. But that was a lot of time, and the fuel adds up too. Like, how do I make that better? Well, that's how, partner. Look here. We got camp set up, and I roll out of bed, fire up the coffee, and look at the log. Super awesome to get those done. We got a house on our hands here, boys. Time to get the 46-foot wall. Well, friends, first time doing a log wall in 3 pieces. Just like every other thing you do for the first time, it doesn't go perfect. You have to stop and figure some shit out, but you just try and do your best. Hey? Sometimes it's so tight I gotta bang it down a bit. Beauty. I'm gonna do this in 2 pieces. So our square notch is done and looking good. Now all that's left is this little one. Then the 4th round will be done. And I'm pretty damn happy about that, partner. Every day it gets better, we get smarter, things get faster, building gets bigger. The flyway's out because, like, look at this log, eh? That's where the center line puts it, is off to the side. Yeah, man, she's a beauty. Even this cool shit we get to scribe in there. The greatest lumber in the world, but it's sure pretty damn free. I like that part. Well, these turned out just awesome. We want these logs, when dry, to touch together perfectly the whole way. We are gonna do that. But we're gonna start out with a gap, so when they shrink at the corners, they close. And I'll show you a spot where they're starting to close here, and you can see how precise their fitment is gonna be. What I do is I take my scribers, and I set them to the biggest opening, which is right here. So that amount determines how much comes off this whole log. See, if there's a 4-inch gap here, we have to cut 4 inches off a 2-inch gap too to get them the perfect distance apart. Whatever it is here, then when it's closer, the line comes further up the log. So that way, when I cut to this line that I put on here, it perfectly fits the log below. This is where we'll cut to, this red one, and this is where it'll sit. So you can just barely see the lines. It's fitted exactly to the lines on all of these. See here? So you can see, I know that it's got to come over. I know it's got to be over there, and then I know this other side's got to come over. Exactly where we traced it to be. That's precision. Every one of these logs has a center line for the center of the weight, which then goes and lines up with all the logs. Otherwise our walls would get bended in every way. This keeps them absolutely perfectly straight. You gotta love it. She's a beauty. It's been so good to be right here, I can't even tell you. It's just so focused on the task at hand. You know, like I pretty well just don't ever really leave unless I need to get some water or some groceries or whatever. You know, you wake up, you sit here, you have coffee, and you look at what needs done. It's so focused, there's no distraction. On top of that, this here camper is pretty deadly because everything works. It's got propane fridge, I cook in here, hot water works even on propane, it's got a shower, 2 sinks, furnace, AC for God's sakes. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, I used to live in the bush for so long. This is just top tier. We're really in the season of working. This summer and fall, man, it's just logs and videos, and that's all it is. So a guy needs a haircut, you know, you've been out camped out too long, you know, it's get to be too much here. Gotta schedule myself in. Well, it just started to sound a whole lot like not log building. Oh my God, that's nice. Doing this long wall in 3 pieces was a heck of a learning curve. It seems like just everything you try and do for the first time, it never goes exactly how you expected. You do the best you can with the information you have. The problem is, it's not until I get up to the second pass that I realize, oh well, I shouldn't have done it like that. I should have done it a little differently. So we say, okay, let's learn from that. And how do we make the next round better so it's easier moving forward? These crooked logs, you know what? I'm kind of getting sick of them. This one has this big dip here on the bottom, and then I can only make this one work this way. I'm just not loving it. See, there's 4 windows in this long wall. What's really killing me is this kink right here. Like, the rest of the log is pretty straight, but what I'm gonna do is break this into 4 pieces. I'm gonna have a piece here with no notch, but the finished result will be better. So friends, this is what life is looking like right now. Scribe a couple feet, move down a couple feet, scribe a couple more feet. Man, guys, I am so glad that it's time to start cutting this wall. Can't even tell you. Well, friends, life is pretty deadly, and it's a pretty deadly morning. You know, I wake up, you know, I'm in the camper, I got the windows open, it's like you're sleeping outside. I love that shit. Wake up, roll over, look out the window at the big project, get out here, start firing coffees and firing up the saws to put to work. Oh man, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. I'm having a blast. Let's get right at it. We gotta get all these pieces cut. I want this done. Beauty. This is my favorite part ever. Oh my god, what a house we have now. I can't even see over it. It's unreal. 5 rounds high. All of a sudden, I can't see over my house here. and friends, this thing is gonna be 10 rounds high, meaning we are halfway there. Such a unbelievable feeling for me, and it's awesome that I'm able to share it with you guys. We got a patio door here and 2 6x5 windows. We got 2 double windows coming in over here. And that's what I'm working at here right now, is doing these short little walls. They're only about 7 foot long. Oh, beauty. Doesn't get old. Well, friends, it's a beautiful morning here. It seems like every morning is a beautiful morning. I don't really care if it's windy. I care a little bit if it's rainy because I can't scribe, but pretty well whatever the weather, if I'm able to come out here and build my dream house and share it with friends, life is pretty deadly. There's no better way to end the day at 9 o'clock at night and go and have some supper and drop a log down, boys. It's the best. We got a lot of discoloration starting to happen on these logs. I hate it, but just remember, friends, we're gonna polish it up so damn nice. Because we got short walls here and in the middle, we can really rip through them, and I can do the back wall pretty quick at this point. Now, what I've been realizing, friends, is I've been spending all my time on these long walls. I really made an effort here to leave these walls in a way that we could do them a lot quicker moving forward, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the 6th round done here in absolutely fucking record time. We're all cut up and looking damn good here. 3 really straight pieces out of a crooked log, but it's a nice big one. Got so many hours into this log, but now it's ready to come down. It's a great feeling. Sometimes it just gets a little hung up like this, and then sometimes I just got a little hammer. Beautiful. Yeah, we really got this straightened out nice. Looking good. It takes me so long. Like, I'm so terribly slow at doing all this. Like, you wouldn't even believe it. See, as of right now, lots of things are not polished. I got a lot of knots to sand, cambium to clean up. All the ends need trimmed flush, the windows trimmed, the sills cut out. It's very unpolished, right? Like, you know, it doesn't make sense to polish it now. It's gonna need polish later. It doesn't make sense to cut the ends off now, because then they'll crack and we gotta wax them. It makes sense to do it at that time when it's time to refine it, probably once the roof is on. So it's kind of unpolished and a little bit of a rough stage, but this is the closest I can show you as to what this house is gonna look like. She's just a beauty. Not only is that the last log on the wall, it's the last log of the 6th round. And this thing is just looking deadly. Like, it's too deadly, guys. Like, it's getting to be like unbelievably deadly. I think this corner just looks so good. The logs are starting to look so powerful now that they're stacked up, and we got these crazy flyways going every which way. I think this looks so damn good. This log had a ton of flare and I wanted it in here. I love putting that in here. I think it looks so good. I brought my mom out here to show her the progress, and one of the first things she said was how much bigger it is in real life than it is on camera, and I'm kind of starting to believe that to be true. On to the next one. long day. It's already past supper time. We're just getting started. We got a lot to do here yet. I tell you though, guys, it's just about dark here. The days are getting so much shorter in a hurry. It's almost even starting to feel like fall winter here. So every day a guy's gotta just kick his ass even more at his own ass, you know. Every day we got work to do. A lot. A lot of these nights are getting cold enough, especially when it's rainy and shitty. I run the furnace and I still gotta go into town here, God's sake. Because I got all these groceries, I gotta cook and make coffee in the morning. But you know, there just ain't no damn way we're doing that in the prime of the day. It's gotta be here later. This is really the whole new height of this thing though. It's getting to be stupid high. I gotta make all these adjustments. I gotta get up on a ladder. I like to see the top of it. Well, I gotta get up high to do that. And then I hop down the ladder, move over there, hop up another ladder and bump it, and then come back here, sight it again. Or like here, I wanna look down it like a gun barrel, eh? So a lot of climbing. This was the fastest I've ever put a log on the wall, and it's getting better every time. And to see all the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the long days, all the tough lessons come together is the most beautiful experience. And to share with friends who like the videos and appreciate it, man, it just makes it really makes everything just so worth it. Beauty. Well guys, we are pushing the boundaries here on this build, that's for sure. The wall is so long. Even though this was a beautifully straight log, we had to cut it into pieces and stretch it out at the windows just to get it to reach. And that's been the case for all these logs are in pieces because they will not reach at that length. But look at the final result here, guys. It's looking just awesome. Yes sir, lining them up and dropping them down. Because this log is in 3 pieces, there are 6 ends of this log that need to be lined up perfectly, up and down, as well as side to side, so they stack up perfectly with the logs below. I've been spending pretty well all my time lately in the bush, and I've been getting these monsters drug out, cut, limbed, brought home, and start peeling them. This is a straight log for over 60 feet. I need 7 logs that are 62 feet long. Like the house is just nuts. They're very hard to find. I walked for miles and miles, for days really, just to find a few beauties. I got a lot of work to do in October, just getting the material ready. We gotta be building this winter, we gotta keep at her, so let's get her done, guys. We have to be really careful handling logs this big. Find work that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You know, I just fucking love this shit. This is a 34 footer and it's still huge at the tip. Beauty! It's a dusk till dawn ordeal out here, friends. That's what perfectly dry wood does. Here's to warm fires and warm coffee. It sure is good to be back. First snow of the year here, guys, on site. This has been where I've been living this whole summer and building, and it's been working really good, but it got too cold right away. Like in September, you know, it gets too cold to stay in a camper. It doesn't take much. There's not much to the walls of a camper. So I've actually been busy moving into a new place and setting it up. You know, guys, she's sure getting pretty tall. Gotta be careful even how I jump off this thing. I sure hope you guys are having as good a day as I am here today. It's a hell of a life, man. Gotta love it. The logs coming up here next are so big and we're getting so high. I'm really starting to wonder if my tractor is going to be able to lift them up here. Or if we're going to have to figure something else out. Well, you would really think that working in the winter would be a pain in the ass, but you get used to it as good as I do and it's not really any problem. You know, I used to spend all the winter on the Traplines, so I've always done a lot of work in the winter, especially when winter is like this. I mean, God, it's so nice out today, you can't call it winter. First we fire up the coffees, then we fire up the chainsaws, and we get right to work here. This thing's already big. It's hard to believe what it's gonna look like with 3 more big rounds like this. This is the last little log in pieces, and then we're gonna get into the monster logs here. This log building is what I love to do, and I try not to take away from how much fun I have with it by saying it needs to be done by this or that. So every day I come out here and I chip away at this thing at a snail's pace. I might go home at the end of a long day and I only have 1 clip for my video, and the building might not even look any different, but I'm okay with it. And it's because I know that I'm gonna have fun with this thing the whole way. I'm gonna enjoy my work, I'm gonna love the process, and at the end of it, after we chip away at this thing day after day after day, I'm gonna have a beautiful handcrafted home that I built myself and have saved so much money doing it. So I'll have exactly what I want for really a lot of sweat equity. Small one. Honestly, this saw is just, it's ludicrous. It's the beast. I literally can't even walk fast enough back for how fast this thing can cut. Well, this thing's starting to get big enough I get a little more nervous about doing this. We're just doing some leveling. I only need about 1/4 of an inch here. Oh, this is kind of getting sketchy. Oopsie. Stay where... Ooh, I hate those noises. Holy fuck. We gotta get more shims under. Here's what we gotta do. There's so much weight on this. We have to be real careful how we let it down even. This is the one I've been waiting for so long. We got it set out here how we want it, and we're gonna close off the front of this house, and holy shit, I can't wait. This is a couple 1,000-pound frozen block of ice. It's totally a green piece of wood. The logs we're getting into here are absolutely just ludicrous. The tip of this log is the same size as the butt of these ones. It's not even funny. Oh, perfect fit. God, this is nice. Now that we got this incredible log going across, it becomes clear as day how the front of this house is gonna look. Here I am trying to show you some scale of this thing, man. It really feels like you're in a house now Like I'm over 6 foot tall. Oh God. The log is so heavy and slippery it wants to twist. I have to strap it from rolling. When you're building or when you're fixing or really no matter what you're doing, there's times when it becomes really hard or really slow, or sometimes you honestly just don't even know what you're doing or what you should be doing. And to be honest with you, so far, setting these header logs has been all three of those things for me. And it seems like it's just human nature for whenever things get hard, there kind of becomes this building urge to just say, fuck it. You know, fuck it. The absolute best thing you can do is never, ever, ever say fuck it. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. It's the absolute best feeling in the world knowing you did something right or to the best of your ability. Because I'm never going to be sitting in this house after it's done and thinking, well, I'm really sad that on December 22nd I spent 3 extra hours getting this log perfectly lined up. But I would sure sit in this house bothered if there was something blatantly obvious that I did lazy and sloppy and I could have done a lot better. We just need about an inch here. Man, this is awesome. Well, the real winter is here and I must keep pushing forward to get this log home done. So this is the first of many beams being scribed into the wall, but it's very tricky because I can't actually reach in there far enough. It makes my life exciting anyway. So this is my U-shaped kitchen. There's kind of an island over here. And this log is incredibly important for my cupboards, for how I hang them here. It's very unique how that works. So I'm excited to show you, but it turned out really good. I tried to get the bottom of it close to level. Well guys, I've been stuck inside. My goodness, what a cold snap that was, eh guys? It was minus 40 base temperature here for quite a few days. But with this cold weather, here's the real problem that we gotta figure out. And when I say we, I mean me and you. Well, it was 30 below this morning, base temp. I need a way to heat up this tractor without it running. And I think I got an idea. This is the first time I've ever tried this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this done before. Okay, so we gotta heat up the tractor here. We're gonna see how this goes. Okay, what we got here is a propane heater. I used to use it to heat my deer blind. And we're gonna put the heat right to the oil pan here. I'm driving the heat right onto the oil pan and trying to trap it here in the engine with my big tractor blanket here. Okay, let's give her a try here. Okay. This log has just been taking me days to complete. See, this is the important header log for the windows, so it needs to line up with the sills. Because I've done most of this in pieces so far, these header logs are the first ones to go the full distance in a long time and tie everything together. So I have to be really careful that every log is exactly where it's supposed to be. Oh. So when it comes time to start polishing and cleaning this up, I'm gonna snap one level line and do one straight cut down and even these all out. They look a little funny at different lengths, but the log after this one is gonna extend all the way onto the deck. And I've been trying to add a little finishing touch to really make it look nice. I think I wanna take the end of this log and curve it into the next one. But it's gonna take some thinking about. I've been trying to figure it out. It's been a little bit difficult because the truth is I don't really know what I'm doing just yet. Same as every other new damn thing. So we have to match the shape of what's happening here to really make this look slick. So I've been carving this out with the chainsaw. Takes me really a long time. And then I left this end extra long, and we'll see what we can do. And I'm getting it pretty damn good here. Well, this might be a bad idea, a little hard on my camera if it falls, but shit, it's gonna look cool. That's the best thing ever. There's no fudge room out here. It's either perfect or it's not worth a shit. There's just one header log remaining. Picking the log is a lot harder than you might think. I really struggle here, to be honest. Like, I find myself not knowing what to value. There's so many different factors that I just end up confusing myself. Really, we just don't have very many nice logs. There are logs here that would work perfectly for this job, but then I also don't want to wreck the logs that I need longer higher up in the building. You know, I want to save them. Here's another candidate. It's just got this twist right here and right here, and I got a window coming out right here, and it bends out. Otherwise, it's a really pretty nice log. It's straight grained. It's huge. I have 46 feet or 12 inches. Beauty. I've really been finding myself indecisive, and I'm really trying to be a lot more. You know, they say you get good and then you try and get quick. Well, right now I'm just fucking slow, so. This log is really showing me I'm in trouble. Like, I'm not gonna be able to lift the next ones. This is a massive log, but the next ones are even massiver. There's absolutely no way the next ones are gonna work. Like, I'm in trouble here. So what I'm gonna have to do here is, because I'm literally maxed out, I can't lift anymore, so I got the bucket tipped down, and now I can twist it, but like, all this here is pretty sketchy. I have a really hard time seeing how far out I am on the corner. It's really hard to see. But as soon as I get it over top of my log walls, I'm a hell of a lot safer, because the log, it'll drop down, land on the wall. And I guess we can see how we're looking here at least, friends. Fuck. I'll pull it back a bit. We're leveling our gaps. So I'm making sure that I got the same at the corner as I do here. And then this here was just a little bit high. It had compressed more on the other end, and they will all come down to touch perfectly in the end. But we have to account for that gaps for the shrinkage. So right now I'm literally just taking 1/8 of an inch out off my tab and lowering this log down. Looking good. Just like that. It's +3 today, and the time I've been making this video and working all these tricky logs, it's went from -40 to +3. Isn't that something? Just gotta keep giving her. That's awesome. Holy shit. This is a huge accomplishment for me. I really struggled a lot in places doing this for the first time and setting all these pieces right. I'm feeling really happy about everything right now, guys. The house is looking just unbelievable. Really good. Really good. Ever since I was little, I knew I wanted a log home, but I knew I wouldn't buy one or have one built. I always kind of felt like I would build one myself. And really, that's only been the only option for me. That's all I could do. That's the only way I could have something like this, is if I sat down and worked for it. I started this when I was 21. I sure as hell couldn't have if I had to buy all these logs. Really, when I started this, I really knew just almost nothing. You know, I had not cut that many trees down. I'd done nothing like this, but you know, if you really focus on something, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you want to do it and you have good purpose behind it, you can do anything like this. And it's been an amazing journey. There's been so many hard points. There's been so many tough lessons where I feel like, well, it's honestly just painful, but that makes it an amazing journey, friends. That makes it such a story. There's logs here that have amazing stories. I could tell you where I cut it, how the trouble I had with them, where I went wrong. It's a house of a million stories. I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to live in anywhere but this house once it's done. It's just, you become so connected with it, and the natural materials that are in it. It's really a thing of beauty. I owe a very special thank you to the friends on my YouTube channel, the ones that have been here for 4+ years, who have watched my whole journey from living in the bush and off-grid to now being here with me. I couldn't have done it without you guys. I sure as hell wouldn't have made all these videos if it wasn't for you guys who have been here and supported me and said nice things and believed in me to be able to do something like this. I'm very grateful for all the people I have around me that have believed in everything. And to all my new friends too. You know, it's really glad to reach new people too, and I hope you enjoy this the same way everybody else has, hopefully. Hopefully. This is 1 year. All of my videos that I've made so far are in this one video. I worked on this video for 2 weeks to get it perfect, which sounds absolutely nuts. There is thousands of hours into this, and it's all in one video, but I put so much effort into it, so I'm really hoping you guys enjoy it. It's been thousands of hours of work, and I don't regret any of it. It's been a blast.